Okay, welcome to Fahrenheit Performance Podcast, episode number 36. Today we have Hoo Fang Yu. Good to see you, man. You have been gone from Singapore for a long time. For people that don't know you, you are, let's call you a student triathlete, right? You're doing very well in the triathlon scene. You've been living in America since late last year. And why don't you just give a quick intro to yourself?
Yeah, okay. So, hi guys. My name is Fang Yu. I am currently a final year student studying at NUS. I'm also a triathlete racing for, maybe I'm part of the TAS high performance program racing for the B squad itself. Yeah, so besides that, I'm also under podium performance for my coaching. Yep. And yeah, nice to meet you guys, man.
What were you doing in Colorado? You were there since the end of last year, right?
Oh yeah, okay. So I forgot to introduce that in my introduction. So last year, this is part of NUS's student exchange program. Okay. I went to US as part of my student exchange program last semester. So it was the second semester of year 3. I did my exchange studies at the University of Colorado Boulder.
Nice.
So I think let me just go through with you guys how I did my exchange program selection.
I'm sure people want to do it themselves, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you still have a year left on your degree. So you did it in your third year.
Yes.
Okay.
I have one more year left in university.
So how does one go about getting exchange like that?
Yeah, so the school will normally start applications in year 2, Sem 1, and that's when you apply to the list of schools that is available for your choice. So for me, what I did was, being a triathlon nerd, I went to search the USAT.
Triathlon nerd.
I went to search the USA triathlon site for like the collegiate club rankings, and I saw that. So like, I think back then what I saw was USA Air Force Academy was like first.
Wow.
And then
but you can't go to the US.
Yeah, correct. And the second was University of Colorado Boulder. Yeah. So the obvious choice to go for was CU Boulder.
Oh, that's so funny. So your major is data science and analytics, right? That sounds like such a data science analytics thing to rank the schools to see which one lies in your preferred locations. So you did that. You applied, you got in, and then you just took off with your bike to Boulder, right?
Yeah, that's right, man.
I think we'll talk about that later. Yeah. Let's just rewind a bit to talk about triathlon in general, right? You've been doing triathlon since COVID? I think I met you during COVID sometime, and you were just starting out.
Yeah, so I started doing triathlon in late 2020. So it has been like around 4 years or so of doing this sport.
So your buddies, Seti, Luke, Bryce, Eunice, all those guys, all swimmers become triathletes. Is that your path as well? Were you a Singapore Sports School swimmer?
I ain't that special. Okay, so let me just explain. Okay, so back in secondary school, I was from Scouts. So that was 4 years in a uniform group. Then in JC, I transited to doing a few sport, which was ultimate frisbee.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, and that was the sporting background I had in school. Then after you start going to you started going to like national service, you will gradually like pick up running for fun. I mean, not for fun, but like for the sake of like running, because you need to run in order to pass your IPPT.
The 2.4, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so what? You started swimming first, you running first, or cycling first?
Oh yeah, so I started cycling first, and it was a pretty funny story. So in the second year of COVID, everything was pretty locked down, like even the army camps. So what happened was that normally we are stuck in camp once. For every 3 weeks, we are stuck in camp for 1 week, and we have 2 weeks out. Yeah, and within this 1 week that we are in camp, we basically do almost nothing and stay inside our bunks all day.
Because of the isolation of COVID.
Yeah,
right?
Correct. So what happened in the end was that I was pretty bored most of the time, and I started investing my time watching a lot of like Netflix shows in that period of time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I chanced upon this like cycling anime. It's called Yowamushi Pedal.
Oh, I was going to say Unchained by Tour de France or something. Okay, so Yowamushi Pedal, that's that one little kid, right? And
correct.
He picks up a bike and he rides to school every day, right?
Yeah, that's right, man.
So that inspired you to become a cyclist?
Yeah, like I seen like the anime itself, like all the characters were like basically really having fun in the sport, and I'm like, no freaking way, this sport is so fun that they were like have so much fun.
There must be something to it, right? They make a whole anime about cycling.
Yeah.
Okay, correct. So what? You just went down to the local bike shop and bought yourself a Trek Madone like everyone else does?
Okay, I did go to the track shop to see what bikes there was, but my parents didn't want me to buy a road bike because my dad already had a road bike at home. It was an old aluminium frame.
Yeah.
like something with very rusty components and stuff. Just that he hasn't been riding because of back issues. So what we decided to do was that my father told me, hey, how about this? You try the bike first.
Yep.
And if you really enjoy doing road cycling, then you should go get a bike yourself. If not, this is something that is a big investment.
Yeah, if you drop $10,000 on the bike and then you don't like it after a few months, it's like, heard that story too many times. Okay, so you started riding this old campy bike and you liked it. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think it was pretty fun. So like 2 months into like cycling, I decided, okay, I'm going to get my own bike. So I went to search Carousel for like second-hand bicycles, and I came upon this Merida Reactor 905.
Yep.
It was a really, really old Merida Reactor model.
Did you come in here with that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
that was the first bike.
The first bike, right?
Yeah.
Okay, before the day is that bike.
Correct.
Okay. And then you're a cyclist now, right?
Yeah, so that was how I started as a cyclist.
So then how did you come? Because you used to be part of Breakaway.
Yeah.
Right? Did you join Breakaway before or after you started triathlon?
Okay, so I made a commitment to like triathlon one fine day after like watching a few Nick Bear videos because he was doing like
So this is on Netflix's fault.
yeah. So he was like doing like I think a half Ironman or Ironman back then. I thought it was pretty cool like to be able to like complete an Ironman or half Ironman, which was what I wanted to do, because since I'm already cycling, why not just do running? And
I got to say,
well.
I used to watch old Ironman videos, especially the full Kona videos, right? And then there's some guy has MS or some guy has got one leg and he finishes it, and they were really, really, really inspiring to watch. And this is the way they edited them, and they're so cool. So then what? You decide, I'm a cyclist now. I'm a triathlete now, but you haven't done a triathlon.
Yeah.
Let's join a club. So what did you do?
Yeah. So one day, as in like what normal maybe not normal people, but like what a data scientist would do is that he would check what's going on in the local scene. So what I saw back then was there were two dominant clubs for triathlon. One was Tribal Triathlon and one was Breakaway.
Okay.
And the deciding point of why I chose Breakaway over Tribal was because of this Instagram advertisement that I saw that has Luke Chua inside of it.
Yeah.
He was wearing those like Oakley shades, and I was like,
Nice.
wow, this guy is so cool. I'm
He
his
is
friend. Hi, Luke. Yeah, then I was like, okay, sure. So I decided to drop Breakaway a DM. I think Yi Zhong was the one that responded to my DM.
Yeah.
And then he basically linked me up with the coaches.
Yep.
And after that, I told them I will be able to commit only after I officially ORD from the military. So which was the end of November itself. Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
So 2021.
2020.
2020. Okay. So COVID hasn't even finished by then.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you just started training triathlon. Okay.
Yeah, that's more or less what happened.
Did you know how to swim?
Nope. As in, I did attend like swimming classes when I was a kid, but like back then, like I only swam breaststroke because I felt freestyle was like a bit too hard.
Yeah. And then now your swimming must be pretty decent, right?
I think it's
The weakest of your three.
it's still the weakest of my three. And like I think it's not competitive enough to like be a front pack swimmer, but in the short course. So like my swim is, if I touch my heart, it's not competitive enough to survive in the short course scene. Yeah.
But long course you can make up that time
correct.
elsewhere, right?
The swim is like so short compared to like the other sports.
So if you started as a cyclist too, and you're not a very good swimmer, is cycling your favorite?
Yeah,
three?
I would say it's my most favorite discipline. It's the one that so if let's say like I have free time and like I want to like do like one of the sports, I think swimming is out of the question. Running is basically dependent on whether my friends are like doing it.
Yeah.
Because right now I stay in hall and I have a bunch of like close-knit running friends that I normally run with. Yeah, so if they are not running, then I will just be heading out on my bike.
So what was your first triathlon?
Oh yeah,
Because you called yourself a triathlete before you did the first triathlon. What was the first triathlon?
Yeah, so I think back then Breakaway had its own internal event.
Yeah.
It was the first time I saw like the superstars like in person. I saw like Bryce, Cedric, Aaron Kiss, Colleen and Emma was there.
Yep.
Yeah, then I was like, whoa, these guys are like so cool. Yeah, so back then my goal was just to complete my first ever sprint triathlon.
Yep.
Yeah, then I think...
Did you do meta sprint series like everyone else, or did you do the
so that
trifecta, or what was it?
Okay, so the Breakaway internal event was done before the next year's series of Meta Sprint when they reopened.
Because you ORD'd in November, right? So then
correct.
Meta Sprint normally starts in January, February-ish.
Yeah.
So was that what happened?
Yeah, so I signed up for the aquathlon, the duathlon, and the triathlon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did all three of that year.
Yep. And your suspicions were correct. You liked it, right?
Yeah. Okay, like for me, I would say what I like about triathlon the most is not really the sport itself, but like the lifestyle and the routine that you get out of it. Like,
and the training buddies and the friends you
yeah,
get, right?
correct, exactly, man.
Yeah. So I remember Arena Games must have been 2021 because I remember it was the first event where you didn't have to wear masks in a public area, right? So
I
it must
think
have been 2021.
2022, if I'm not wrong, because I remember that was the end of my year 1 semester 2, right after my final paper.
And the pros, I remember I watched the pros
Yep.
race. They swam. That was the first event ever to swim in Marina Bay.
Yeah,
now that T100 does it, but that was the first event ever to swim in Marina Bay. And then your race was right after the pros event, right? I think, or maybe right before the pros event.
Wait, yeah, it's before the pro men's event.
Yeah, and after the pro women's or something like that.
Yeah, correct.
What was that? But you didn't swim in the water, right?
Yeah, we didn't. So that was the U23 esports championships for duathlon.
Yeah.
So it was basically the same Super League format Super League indoors format where
So you run on the curved treadmill.
Yeah, you run
right?
for 2K, then you do like I think a 8 or 10K bike, then a 1K run off the bike.
So it's almost like a super sprint
correct.
triathlon on a stationary bike and a treadmill,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
But not just a regular. The curved treadmills are so much harder to run on, right? So and you won that. You won that, right? I remember you won it, and everyone was like cheering. Oh, they almost like throwing you in the air.
Gosh,
It was so funny.
It was so emotional because like I think that was like my first race. Then I actually like did something in triathlon.
Yep.
And I remember like hugging Cedric after the event and started crying in front of him. Like
I remember taking photos of you.
Oh, yeah,
crying.
then he'll like sometimes like we'll make some internal jokes like Fang Yu, why you cry? Then he show me the picture again.
So, but after that, I guess that was your first big win, right? So, did you have good results after
Yeah,
that?
so I think that was like a good streak of like summer races for like the end of my semester, year 1 in NUS. So I did 2 other races that summer that were pretty good. So I went for a duathlon race in Putrajaya, Malaysia, and I managed to come in first for the age group for the sprint duathlon.
Duathlon. So there's a theme here, right? You cut out the swim and you do really well. Okay, so sprint duathlon, you won in Malaysia.
Yeah, I won the age group, but the juniors were faster. So like, but they were not in the age group. So overall, I was like 4th. Like I think Isaac Tan was the first place for that race.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after that was probably the highlight of my year 1 summer, which was the U23 individual time trial championships.
Yep.
Yeah. So it
In
was
Singapore, right? The Singapore
correct.
Nationals.
Yeah. So it was a very impulsive decision. It was I think a week after the moment I came back from Putrajaya. It was 2 weeks out from the national championships. So I decided, because I had like a few cyclist friends who were like doing the race, then I was like a bit like FOMO.
Yeah, in your heart, you're a cyclist, right?
Yeah, like cycling is still my most favorite sport.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me think who has like a time trial bike that I could borrow. Then I just
So you borrowed the time trial bike.
Yeah, correct. So I just dug my head around. I was like, oh right, I think Sherman has one. So Sherman is this like nice friend that we have. He's a PE teacher currently, and he's like one of my idols in this sport.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just dropped him a DM on like Instagram and say, hey bro, is it okay if I borrow your time trial bike?
Yep.
Like in exchange, I would clean it up for you.
And he did.
He did,
obliged.
man. Like he was so nice of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then every single component that I had for the bike was basically asked about. Like for the wheels, I had to ask Raphael for them. Yeah. Like I was a bit disappointed I couldn't get any disc wheel, but I think
You should have asked me. I have a disc wheel. Clincher disc wheel. I have them.
Oh shit. Yeah, never mind. It's all in the past right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, so like basically this bike out of nowhere was just built up by the people that I know. I even I'd like to give a shout out to Yi Heng as well from Tribal.
Yep.
He was the one that loaned me the helmet for the race so that I wasn't the only
a TT helmet.
yeah, so I wasn't the only guy
this
showing
one.
up with some noob.
Yeah. Okay, and then you won. You won that race, right?
Unexpectedly for me and like for everyone else as well.
Yeah, there's some triathletes like Taylor Nibb.
Yeah.
The triathlete shows up to the TT and wins it.
Yeah, but if I could say something that could defend myself back then, I would say, like I don't think that win was by fluke. I also spent a lot of time within that short week to figure out a lot of stuff about time trialing. I really went into the details, like how to get a good position, stuff like that would get me. Yeah, so like it's all the small things that add up. Like even I bring this spirit over to like my current time trial bike. It's like finding out the small details, because I think when it comes to the time trial bike, it's more than just your power, your watts.
Of course.
It's all the little details that you put into your bike, from your bike fit to like the equipment choice.
Yep.
And basically maximizing the options that you have at a given point in time.
And also a lot of people don't realize it's minimizing the distractions as well.
Yeah.
Like if you have something where you're holding a position in this position, and then you're spending so much mental energy on holding the position or making sure your bottle doesn't rattle or something, right? You just lose focus.
Yeah.
you just want to be in the zone, just focus on going faster, reaching the finish line, starting the run, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, okay, so that's all in the past, right? Now you're not trying under 23 anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the open.
So then you just kept on doing triathlon races, I guess.
Yeah, so let me just try to recall what happened after that. Oh yeah, so I think after that year in where I had the result in the individual time trial, I felt that maybe I had like some shot in long course triathlon.
Yeah.
Because there's the time trial bike involved.
Yeah,
and I
sustained efforts as well.
Yeah, correct. And I believe that when it comes to the time trial bike, I think no one else can be as meticulous as me to get the details down right. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah.
So you're a student of the TT bike.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Okay, so then fast forward to November last year, right? Now
Yeah,
you're
oh, yeah.
full-time study, you're full-blown studying full-time as well as doing your training, right? And then you suddenly find yourself in Colorado, right? Right? Obviously.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So then suddenly Colorado is how many feet of altitude? You're 16,000 or something.
Okay, so in meters is a mile high, about a mile high.
Yeah,
correct.
Denver is the mile.
Yeah, but
city,
as the
right?
Americans call it, is 5,400 feet.
5,400 feet divided by
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, it's around there, a mile high.
So 1,600 meters, right? Mile high, right?
Yeah.
What was it like when can you feel the air is thinner up there?
Oh
or-
yeah, definitely. Okay, so it was pretty interesting how I got
So you got there in November, which is starting of winter.
December. Yeah, end
December,
of
right?
December, yeah.
So starting cold. It's going to be snowing
Yeah,
outside.
it was snowing. Okay, actually it was snowing more in January. But December I didn't really like see the snow or anything.
Yep. But
Yeah.
it's got to be less than like 0 or less than 0 or what?
Okay, so
32 degrees Fahrenheit.
surprisingly, like the number of days that were below 0, I think it was like 1 or 2 only. Like,
Okay,
there was one
not so
only,
bad.
Yeah, there's only one really.
But for a
big-
Singapore boy, that's really, really, really cold, right?
Yeah, correct. Like you can't leave the house at all, man. Yeah, so when I landed at Colorado, I actually felt really sick. Cause I think adapting to a new environment.
Well, I hear that altitude can make you sick as well, right? The changes in altitude,
Yeah.
altitude sickness, right?
Possibly.
It can do that. So,
Yeah.
but then once you're settled in, you're not sick and getting
Yeah.
in the groove. How's training like over there?
Yeah, I would say it takes a little bit more out of you, mainly because you don't recover as well after training.
Okay.
Yeah, so sometimes after the training, so for example in Singapore, I would do an interval session. Normally, if you're well trained, the next day you probably won't feel like much DOMS or anything, just like a bit of like internal fatigue. But at like Colorado, when I finish like a hard day, I can really like feel it.
Yeah.
Like the next day more internally.
And how many hours a week were you studying? Were you in class?
Since I'm an exchanger, I do not need to really care about my grades because my GPA is frozen regardless. But that's not trying to say that I wasn't a good student. I was a pretty good student, I would say myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like actual class time when you couldn't.
Yeah,
train,
okay.
right?
So in the US, I only attend classes that needs me to be there.
Yep.
So things that take attendance. Yeah, so I would at most a week I would go for like 3 or 4 hours of classes. Because I feel like I'm someone who really studies better like alone at home.
So you're a part-time student, full-time triathlete by then, right?
Yeah, in the US.
Yeah, okay. But so it was still cold, so you couldn't really ride outside and run
Yeah,
outside. So what were you
so-
doing?
I would try my best to actually go out and ride as much as I can. Like for me, the conditions for riding outdoors is as long as it's above 0 degrees Celsius, is okay.
Because once it's above 0, there's no ice on the road.
Yeah, correct.
Ice on the road, right? Because ice is just the worst.
Yeah, and I feel like inside my veins or something, the blood isn't like freezing out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because Colorado, a lot of people in Singapore won't realize, but USA Cycling headquarters is there, USA Triathlon headquarters
Yeah.
is there. It's a huge hotspot for cycling and
Yeah.
endurance athletes in
Oh my
general
gosh,
because of the
Yeah.
the altitude. What was it like to be so many of these sort of people around?
Oh yeah, okay. So I think there's a cool term that they would call the athletes that stay in Boulder, Colorado specifically. They call themselves the Boulder bubble. And it's,
Okay.
yeah, so that's like the cluster of like pro triathletes living in Boulder. And really, you like every 2 weeks, I would more or less see one pro that I would know. So like,
So you'd bump into them at the pool or
yeah. So is okay. So during the start of the winter, like Because during winter, I will only swim in the CU Rec Center pool.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely no pros will be there.
Yeah.
But during summer, I would like see them in the swimming pool because I decided to go to the open outdoor pool instead because I had to pay for like summer fees for like the CU Rec, which I didn't want to do. Yeah,
Okay.
so if I can go through the list of athletes I saw, let me just go from the start. I think it's a very nice memory lane.
Sure.
Yeah, so the very first athlete that I met in Boulder, Colorado was basically my idol in the sport. He's Morgan Pearson. So it was a pretty interesting story. So I was like on a road. Then from afar, I was like seeing someone wearing red, I think it was the waterfall bank jersey. Like, so there's a bunch of triathletes in that. So like there were two notable triathletes in Boulder that basically wears the waterfall bank racing. One is Morgan Pearson. The other one is Taylor Nip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so from afar, I saw a track bike. So I was like, okay, that's probably Taylor Nip.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, how about this? I mean, just put in a dig to like catch her and ask for a photo. Yeah, then the thing is, so after I went to put in a dig, then we stopped at traffic light. Then when I got closer, I was like, hey, wait a minute, this is not
Too big to be Taylor Nip.
Yeah, this is not a girl. Then I was like, then everything I like added like one and one together. I was like, hey, are you Morgan Pearson by any chance? Then I was like, yeah, man, I am.
Nice.
Yeah, so I took a nice little ride with him, like from the traffic light down to the start of his interval site. And then we had a talk about like what races he was gonna do and like stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was quite nice. Like
It's amazing actually how many pros actually live there and work there, and just the whole ecosystem is built around that because the velodrome there, and then there's a whole bunch of cycling infrastructure, sort of in terms of sort of the companies and stuff there as well, right? And then, so did you feel the benefits of training at altitude?
Yeah, okay, so at altitude, like you definitely won't feel like benefits of training altitude because you're at altitude. But okay, so I had this like mindset when I had to at altitude, which was to basically get back my numbers to like sea level numbers at altitude. Because if you know that you're able to hit your sea level performances or like even surpass them at altitude, then you're more or less like a better athlete.
Because it's like 15% or 20%,
yeah,
right?
So yeah, like I think it's around 10 to 15 maybe for Singaporean. Yeah, so I think within 2 or 3 months I was basically surpassing my sea level performances on the bike already.
Yep.
Yeah, so then after 3 months, I went down to sea level for like the conference champs, and I basically did like my FTP for 1 hour in an Olympic distance race. So like, it's pretty obvious that.
And then you still can run after that,
yeah,
right?
and I can still like run pretty freshly after that. Yeah. So like it's pretty obvious that there was a big improvement in like.
You didn't push update my FTP when you finished the ride.
I mean, mostly I don't really like track my FTP or anything because I think most of my sessions go off field and like. And I have other metrics that me and my coach follow besides 20-minute power.
Yeah, true. So how many races did you do while you're over there?
Okay, so I think I was very selective with my races there because I didn't want to like over race. I wanted to be like a good like training block. So I did, I think maybe 4 or 5 triathlons in total. Let me try to recall. So the first race was the conference, USAT conference champs for the Rocky Mountain regions.
Yep.
So that was done at Arizona at Lake Havasu. So that was the.
You traveled down to Arizona.
Yeah, correct. So it was quite fun, man. Like.
Was it like a road trip or?
Yeah, it was a road trip style like travel. So that was like that's one of the fun things about like doing triathlon in America is that you get to join like the tri teams, and these teams really like make a trip out of your journey to races.
Yeah.
Like we were basically like driving from like Colorado to like Arizona over like 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
cool.
For like the runner nerds out there, we actually drove past like Northern Arizona University and Flagstaff. So like if you all know why that is,
I do.
You guys are runners. Yeah, so like it was a pretty like big fanboy moment like for me as well to be able to see like NAU in real life. Yeah, then okay.
So the collegiate championships you did first. You did a 70.3 while you were over there, right?
Yeah, so after the conference champs, I did the collegiate championship, and that was at California. Then after the California collegiate championships, I did a 70.3 Boulder, which was a home race.
Yep.
Yeah, and
how'd you do?
Yeah, I think it was not bad. I did like 4:38 at altitude.
Nice.
Yeah, so and I was pretty happy because my bike was under 215, which was above 40 km per hour. Yeah, so that was something that I really invested my time in, which was a lot of time in TT positions.
Yeah. So by this stage now, you've been doing triathlon for a few years. It seems like you're gravitating towards the longer stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Why is that? What's going on? Are you not?
Yeah, as in for me, like personally, if I could bring my road bike or TT bike out for a ride, I would definitely take my TT bike out of it because it's like so much more fast.
Yeah.
Like I think there were days like in Colorado where like I have to do like I was going out an easy ride to like in the mountains. I just brought my TT bike out there with then I just like lock in a TT position and like grind up the hills.
So you're doing the 70.3s because you like the TT bike? Or
Yeah.
You're doing the 70.3s because you don't like all full gas racing, right? It's a bit
Yeah,
it's
okay,
a
so-
strategy, right? It's
yeah.
a different type of racing.
So there are two reasons why I did do 70.3. One is because in the short course field, I'm not really a good swimmer. I can't really latch on to like a good pack.
Yeah. So on a
Yeah.
regular Olympic distance, you'd come out like a minute or
Yeah,
two.
correct. And like because of that, like, I'm more or less on my own. Then like
Yeah.
if I'm going to be on my own, why not just do a 70.3?
Why not just do a 70.3? Okay. But do you think your body is actually suited? Like, if you're a good swimmer, would you do the Olympic, or is it because you are more of an endurance
Okay.
athlete? Right.
I would say I'm one of the, I would say my power profile wise, like I have enough evidence to like basically justify that my power profile is good from like 1 minute all the way up to like 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty versatile as a cyclist,
Yep.
even as a triathlete. So if
Yep.
you ask me to do like criteriums or you ask me to do like 2-hour time trials, I can basically like diversify and like suit my training around it.
Okay.
Yeah, so but the thing is like if I'm going to come out of the water like on my own, then there's not really a point for me to like basically hammer it out and like
Because in the US, the collegiate racing,
yeah.
are you on road bikes or TT bikes?
Oh yeah, so that is really, really interesting. So for US racers, they really love the non-draft Olympic
Yeah, right,
distance
right.
triathlon.
Long draft.
Yeah, so it's something
Because I
that
remember
we-
I did an Olympic distance,
Yeah.
and it was also draft. You will not
Illegal,
draft
yeah,
legal, right?
correct. Yeah, so everyone basically brings out their time trial bikes.
Yeah.
Like basically when I was training with my friends, like for our weekend like training at CU, like they would just whip out their time trial bikes. Then I'm just like one joker on my
So didn't you buy a time trial bike while you were over there?
Oh yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Because I bought my time trial bike a few weeks before collegiate nationals.
Yeah.
And back then I haven't really figured out my time trial position.
Yeah.
So I felt that like even though maybe I was probably faster on the time trial bike, but I wasn't really confident in like putting power or going fast in that position. So in the end I made the choice of going with the road bike for the collegiate road nationals instead. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so what's the biggest difference between a race in America and a race in Singapore?
Okay, yeah. So I would say it's both the quality of the field and the quantity of the field. So in Singapore, maybe like my swim pace, I probably won't come up with like a good group of like cyclists, or maybe sometimes I will even come on my own. But the thing is, in America, like since there are like so many people in like so many different categories of like swim paces, it's more or less certain that I will come out with like a
Somebody.
Group. Yeah, correct. And like because they are like I don't want to like because there are a lot of them are like pretty good at endurance sports. Yeah, so like it's always certain that I would find a group that I can ride with in the Olympic distance events that we are doing over there.
And then it's not just a matter of riding down East Coast Park doing U-turn and
Yeah,
coming
oh my
back,
gosh.
right? It's actually a real course with
correct.
with hills maybe even.
Yeah, so it was pretty nice, man. Like I was like so fascinated by the views at collegiate road nationals. I decided to slap on a GoPro on my road bike just to like record the footage. Like I still haven't really processed it. It's still in my GoPro. Yeah, but like my GoPro had to like see the views, man. So like when I have
So now you can watch it back again and enjoy it.
yeah, like a full like 1 hour of like racing, I can just probably watch it all day.
Yeah. You make it your screensaver or something. You are still a student, right?
yeah.
You, I guess you finished third year now, and you are on the fourth year now, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're back at school for 20 hours a week?
Yeah. So as in studying for 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. Okay, so okay, don't tell anyone that I'm saying this, but like, okay, but you guys are just hearing it. Like for me,
I won't tell anybody, but if anyone listens to this podcast, they might find out.
that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
As in for me, it's cause like I think we're very fortunate as NUS students to
Yeah.
have like most of our lectures and classes recorded. So basically, the only time that I need to attend class is basically for my tutorials where the attendances are recorded. So that's about at most 10 hours a week having to attend physical class.
Is that something that happened after COVID?
Yeah,
That's-
I would think so.
You think-
Yeah, because before that, I think everyone had to attend the lectures and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay, so then Okay, let's just say 20 hours. Okay, 20 hours of study.
Okay,
right?
okay, yeah. On paper.
How much do you train?
Yeah, okay. So I think this semester I'm trying to work towards 18 to 22 hours of training a week on top of like my studies.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a pretty decent. That's a pretty decent amount, right?
Yeah, correct.
And how do you break that up?
Okay, so I remember this question. So you always say all the cyclists would count in hours and all the runners would count in miles.
Yeah, right. No, kilometers. 100 kilometers a week is a big number. I know that. And then 15 hours of a week is a decent number, a big number for training, right? So So how do you break that?
Yeah,
how many swims do you do? How many runs do you do? How many bikes do you do?
Okay, so for swimming, I would try to get in minimally 3 sessions, maximum 4 sessions, because I feel anything more is like the return on investment is quite low. So normally I would try to swim.
But the return on investment, if you can make the front pack, is high, right?
Yeah, but like that's true. But like so for me, I'm swimming about 7.5k to 10k a week. Like I would try not to go above 10k a week, because I found out that in Colorado, if I do anything more than 10k, it's not absorbable for me. So really,
like, almost like junk miles.
Yeah, correct. So like I feel like I'm like going backwards in swimming if I swim more than that 10k. So 10k is my absolute cap. Then my minimum is around like 7k. So swimming is really not my key priority like in like multi-sport in general. It's just I just show up for the sessions, get in the minimal work. If I feel good, I'll do a bit more.
Do you feel like you're improving your swim? Or you've got your plateau now that you...
Yeah, as in I would... Like for the last 2 weeks in America, I was like improving, like just by following the routine. Just that I haven't... Like I took 2 weeks off swimming to just adjust back to Singapore. So like right now I'm still in like that. The phase where I'm trying to adjust back to like swimming 10k a week. Yeah. So that I can like continue seeing the gains again.
Yeah. Okay.
So
and then so that's
swimming,
swimming, then biking.
So biking.
I'm assuming Saturday, Sunday you do a 50k at least or 60,
oh my gosh, okay, yeah. So
or something, right?
Yeah, so believe it or not, cycling I'm doing like 13 to 15 hours a week, which is a lot more than what regular triathletes would be doing. Yeah, in fact, it's a bit more than what some normal cyclists are doing as well.
So 13 to 15 hours a week is what? Times 3, 400
Yeah,
kilometers?
400 and so, yeah,
400 kilometers a week. That is a lot. Because bike fit people, I always ask them what they do, and it's normally like 200, 250, maybe 300, right? So 400 a week. So are you just doing loops to Southern America Coastal, or what do you do?
So I have 6 rides that I do every week. This is something that I discovered or I've been building for the past 2 weeks. So the only day...
So you do 6
rides a week, so except one day. One day is just take the time off the bike, but I have a good reason for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, so...
so you're running every other day of the week?
No, I'm running 4 times a week for a maximum of 40 to 50k.
Okay.
Yeah, so for cycling, I think it's quite interesting. So Monday is my dedicated off day, active recovery day, so I don't push anything above 200 watts. Okay. So how I do this is very special. So I will just...
So you live it...
so I stay in Paul, right? So the southern area is like my playground.
Southern and the west is where you go, right?
Yeah, so on Monday, I actually went to Sentosa and just did loops for listening to the Fahrenheit Performance podcast.
Nice, I like to hear that. That's a great answer.
So the most recent Monday, I was listening to Luke Choi and Eric Keys just talking.
That's one of my favorites, actually.
Oh yeah, and I was listening to Ria talking that day as well. Right? And I was like so motivated.
Nice.
Just listening to like what the Singaporeans are doing.
Yep.
So that's on Monday.
So Mondays is Sentosa. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So Tuesday is a standard 1 hour 20-minute ride. This 46 km loop that I do from NUS to Bukit Timah to New Teo to Lim Chu Kang, back by Jalan Buruh, then back to NUS again. For this ride, it's more
crunchy. That's like a crunchy loop.
Yeah,
but straight up Woodlands Road, right?
Yeah, correct. Okay. So for this ride, the purpose is to just warm up my muscles, because I realized that I cannot do intervals or hard training after an active recovery day, because my muscles feel cold. So
you're down here, you're stepping up to Tuesday is a step up.
Yeah, correct.
And then Wednesday must be a hard run.
Yeah, correct. So for my Tuesday rides, I would really stick to a heart rate goal, which is 150 beats per minute. Yeah. Then I would go out and ride my bike. So my goal is basically hold as high of a power as I can while maintaining under that heart rate. And I would say my zone 2, zone 3 is really well developed. So right now I'm holding about 230 to 260 watts.
At 150.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, cool. You're giving me all your secrets now. So then, and then I get long rides on Saturday, Sunday, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
So with all this running, when do you have time? Well, all this riding, when do you have time to do your running?
Yeah, so my first run of the week is on Tuesday evening. Okay. Yeah, so after the Tuesday morning warm up. Yeah, then Tuesday is interval run. Wednesday will be an easy run. Then Thursday will be another interval run.
Are these runs outside?
on the track.
On the track. So you go to
Yeah. So Tuesday and Thursday I run with my hall friends.
Yeah.
Because they have a training group. That
Is
we
there a
always run
track over
together.
at NUS?
Yeah, there is.
There is? Okay.
Yeah. Then Wednesdays I will just chit chat. It's more like a conversational run. I just run with my whole friends. We go run around the grass patch in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Then we just make stupid jokes with one another. Just start laughing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so you find this completely manageable as a student?
Yeah, as in, cause my reason for thinking why it's manager is because in US I'm already doing this. Just that instead of, and I'm more or less training at the same time in US as in Singapore right now. Just that instead of not doing anything in US, I actually only have schoolwork to do.
Yeah, and then also in the US you said you had trouble recovering, right? So
Yeah,
then
correct.
You don't have that trouble. Did
Yeah,
you
correct.
immediately
Like in Singapore, like okay, so right now I'm actually interning as well on top of like my regular schoolwork.
Yeah.
I'm working 5 times a week, like so a regular office worker.
Oh,
Yeah,
welcome to the real world.
Yeah, 9 to 6.
Yeah, sucks
And-
to be you now.
And I have a good reason for doing that as a student as well, but
Okay.
I can explain that later. But
Okay.
anyways, I feel like I'm more alert like during office hours, even though I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and
Yeah.
sleep at 10 p.m.
Okay.
So like even after my morning interval sessions, I can still go to work and still perform at the level that I need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. So you graduate, I guess, June next.
Yeah, June next year.
Next
Yeah.
year. What's the plan? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're gonna get back to America now that you're wearing your CU holder T-shirt. You're a part-time American already. What's going on? Are you gonna try to go back?
Yeah, okay, so I have a plan for, the long-term plan for 2 years would be to,
That's not a long-term plan.
okay, the short long-term plan for 2 years is for me to basically find a job first somewhere in the data industry because I really enjoy working with data science. And right now, like AI is the hot thing, and my current role is basically a data scientist / AI engineer intern.
So you're gonna try that here or there?
I'll be probably doing it here first just to save up a bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I need some money to like basically raise in the United States if I were to go back again.
Because I lived in America for 10 years, right? So the way that I broke into America, the way that I started out in America was that I did a master's degree for 1 year, 2 semesters. And once you graduate so the rule is in America, once you graduate from America for a 1 year of study, there's something called OPT, which is optional practical training. And then you're allowed to work in the field of your study for an extended year, right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you think you're going to do? Are you going to try to do go back and study again after you finish your current degree?
Yeah, actually, I'm really interested in natural language processing and computational linguistics. So that is.
I don't even know what that means. Okay.
So basically, like if you are new to like the machine learning and AI,
Yes, I am.
basically it's just data with like text information because that's what that's where all the data science and like artificial intelligence stuff is going to right now.
Yep.
Like the direction of like generative AI stuff like ChatGPT and stuff like that. So that is like something that I want to like go into in future. So I am basically looking at I already have a few schools in mind that I would like to go back to look at if I were to apply for masters.
Yep.
One is Stanford.
Okay.
One is probably UC Berkeley, which was both of these schools which also in Vancouver.
Yes, that's where I used to live as well, right, that area.
Yeah. And the third choice will also be CU Boulder because I really enjoyed my stay in the summer program where I stayed in CU Boulder as a research assistant for the natural language processing labs.
Yeah, all 3 of those schools are great schools.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Some are more expensive than others. So Stanford's not a cheap school.
Oh yeah, which is why I have to also hustle for a scholarship to go back.
From a Singaporean company.
Yeah,
I think.
probably. Yeah.
That means you're going to be bonded to come back here, though.
Yeah, but I think that's still a good thing because you have job security as well.
I guess so. Then your friends in America, are they hoping that you come back? What's the?
Oh yeah. So I made this like little promise with like my friends in the Americas, like in the States. Like I told them that one day let's meet up and race together again. And
Yeah,
these
cool.
friends that I have, right, they have pro cards.
But they already have pro cards. So
Yeah,
they're
they do.
Students with pro cards.
Yeah, I see you students with pro cards.
Wow.
Yeah, then
So that means that you're going to try to become a pro then.
Yeah,
You're going to try to get a pro card, right?
that's right, man. In order to race them, I have
What
to
is
get a pro
the process of doing that?
Yeah, okay. So honestly, I'm not very sure about the Singaporean process. So I think the
So
easiest,
it's a nation by
yeah,
nation process.
if I'm not wrong, it's done nation by nation because
Okay.
from what I'm inferring from my Brazilian friend is that his pro card is given by the Brazilian Association instead of like Ironman or something.
Yeah, Ironman or whatever.
Yeah.
T
the PTO.
Your PTO, right?
Yeah, so I need to figure that out. But I think the safest way to go about doing this is basically earning yourself a good result first.
Yeah, the best way to get a pro card is to do as well.
win a race,
win a race. Or win a bunch, or at least top 5 in a bunch of races,
correct,
right? or beat some other pros in the same field, right?
Yeah.
So that's your plan. What are your races coming up?
Yeah, so for the next 2 years, I'll probably be like going around doing like 70.3s. My next race is in 2 months. I'll be doing a 70.3 Langkawi.
Which is late October, right?
Mid-October.
Mid-October? Because that used to be in November. I think they brought it. They brought it back to October.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
have you? You didn't do that last year. You did Desert.
no,
last
I
year.
did. Okay, so last year I did 113 Desaru, which is an unofficial 70.3. Yeah, but
Oh, it's not
Like, it's like-
non-Ironman branded.
yeah,
right?
not Ironman branded race, because these races are normally cheaper as well.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that was my first long course race. I got to see Ben Koo in his like full glory, and it was really inspiring just to like see him like race.
I saw him at the track on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then so Ironman Langkawi, 70.3. So you're set on 70.3 distance now.
Yeah, more or less.
Any aspirations of a long course?
Yeah, so I think in the next year I would like to basically get an age group or a good result at the full distance in Langkawi as well.
So October 2025.
Yeah,
You're going to go for the full distance. in
yeah,
Langkawi.
mainly because as in honestly I would have went for the full distance this year instead of the half distance. But the thing is, the World Championships for Ironman is in Nice next year, and I don't really want to race that event. Like,
So you're one of those Kona guys, right?
Yeah.
You're in it for Kona.
like that's the reason why like triathlon started, and like why I started.
Yeah.
Why I was even doing the sport.
I
in the
get
first
it. I
place,
get
yeah.
it. Where's the 70.3 World Champions next year?
I think it's in Spain. Yeah, but I
Okay.
probably won't be going for that if my friends aren't going for it. So like I have to speak to Bryce about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
will definitely go if Bryce goes.
so you are gonna go 70.3 full Ironman Langkawi next year.
Yeah.
And obviously you're gonna try to go sub 9 hours, right?
Yeah, that's probably not in Langkawi, but in another course. I have a race for that, like probably Ironman Texas or Arizona when I go back to the States in 2 years.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
I've run out of questions. How's the best way to get a hold of you? It's Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram at Hoo Fang Yu.
Hoo Fang Yu, right?
Yeah.
HOOFANGYU. I really look forward to watching you race for the next year. Thank you so much for coming in, and we'll catch up again, okay, man?
Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries.